Today I am bringing you 52 tips and tricks to help you start or continue your farming simulator journey. The tips will mostly be listed in order of player experience, starting with tips that are meant for noobs all the way to tricks that are meant for hardcore farming professionals. Let's dive right in with tip number 1. Farming Simulator 25 offers 3 game modes. New Farmer mode, ideal for beginners. This mode is perfect to get you started farming immediately. Farm Manager mode. You have a bigger budget and more freedom, but you start with empty land and no equipment. It's up to you to build everything. Start from scratch mode. Intended for experienced players, you start out with very limited resources, without any land or equipment. This represents a real challenge. I recommend you not skip any of them when first starting out the game, because let's face it, Farming Simulator is a big game and has a lot of different mechanics. It will take you some time to learn them all. 2. When first starting out, turn off seasonal growth in the settings to simplify life a whole bunch. This setting turns off the crop calendar, which limits what time of the year you can plant and harvest. It can complicate the game too much for new players. 3. Take advantage of automated workers and GPS. Farming Simulator 25 introduces an improved system of automated workers and a GPS mode that makes it easier to manage your farm. This system lets you delegate tasks such as plowing, sowing or harvesting to AI workers that you hire beforehand. While your workers are working for you, you can focus on other aspects of your farm. You can hire workers by pressing H on the field. 4. In Farming Simulator 25, completing contracts is an effective way to generate income quickly, especially early in the game. These contracts offered by other farmers or foresters cover various tasks such as harvesting, sowing or even cutting down or transporting trees. They not only help you earn money, they also let you test equipment you don't already own, since contracts allow you to rent the necessary equipment, thereby making it easier to successfully carry out the contracts. To maximize profits, target the contracts located near your farm to save time, and try to chain together several similar contracts in the same area. This strategy helps you accumulate funds while developing your experience in the field. If you are okay tinkering with mods, you can also add a mod called Supply Contracts that will add contracts where you have to supply some kind of produce. These are easy to complete if you hoard produce anyway, and you can make some quick cash. Speaking of which, 5. Hoard your produce and grain. Now, once you have completed the starting phase and have got some productions up and running, you are gonna wanna build a silo and a pallet storage. Then, once your product is ready, you can store it and check its price via the in-game menu. Once it hits maximum price, you can sell it in bulk for maximum profit. 6. Free water. That's right, free water. You can refill your water tankers in rivers, ponds, lakes, the sea, you name it. Anything with water on it or in it. And it's free, meaning if you can get some land near a water source, the greenhouses suddenly become an extremely good early game money making option. This also works on rice fields. 7. Mother Nature is not always friendly to farmers, and Farming Simulator 25 shows that through the extreme weather that can happen in the 3 maps that players can be farming on. While it can certainly be a change of pace to see a tornado come through town, sometimes it isn't very fun when someone has been working hard on their fields and is proud of what they have accomplished. Hail, tornadoes and other extreme weather can happen in the game and damage buildings, machinery and crops. Thankfully, for players who do not want to experience this, in the game settings menu there is a setting to disable disaster destruction. In the same menu, crop destruction can also be turned off to prevent crops from being damaged by driving over them with the tractor. 8. Farming Simulator 25 has a special secret objective of unique collectibles hidden around the map, which can be fun to attempt to hunt down, but also incredibly difficult. Each map has collectibles of different types that work towards completion of a larger goal. For example, the Riverbend Springs map has 25 collectibles that are sold to the Crane Elevator Museum as part of their displays. Each collectible found provides money for the player's character and works towards finishing that project. The tricky part is that no two collectibles are the same, and they tend to blend in extremely well with their surroundings. They are not highlighted and there are no hints given to the player, only a small button to collect when the player gets close enough to the object in question. 9. Farming Simulator 25 does not have a story campaign, but simply allows players to run their farms however they see fit. Because of this, and perhaps due to the difficult learning curve for beginners to start running a farm, there are a few NPCs in the world that will help the player out by answering questions. They can also tell interesting anecdotes or even hints towards possible mysteries in the town, such as Katie talking about the crows in town being able to share gossip. Each of these NPCs has a special focus. Ben is the one to talk to with questions about farming. Katie can help with anything livestock related, and Noah is the lumberjack who can help answer questions about logging. On the map they are shown by a yellow dot, just as Grandpa Walter has, and can be fun to talk to when the player is near where they are. Although there is no story, their quirky personalities help with the immersive quality of Farming Simulator 25. 10. When unloading a harvester into a trailer, in the upper right corner of the screen you can see the trailer's fill level. 11. When harvesting certain crops with the harvester, you can toggle the straw spot using the comma key, which will make your harvester leave a straw path on the ground, which you can then later collect and store or use with the cows. 12. Autoloading. Ah yes, everyone's favorite topic to argue about. Are you a noob if you use autoload or a pro? No one knows. Autoload modes do exactly what the name suggests. They automatically load goods onto trailers for you, so you don't have to play Forklift Simulator 25. To install the autoload mode, it is quite simple. In the main menu of the game, go to downloadable content and search for universal autoload. Install the mode, enter your game and make sure it is enabled, and voila! Make sure you rebuy your pallet and wood trailers if you installed it on a pre-existing save, or just buy a trailer, roll up next to your pallets and press Shift and R. You can also filter the pallets and whatnot. But you can learn more about that in my Universal Autoload review. Do keep in mind autoloading is only available on the PC and not on the consoles. 13. Time. Never forget that you can speed things up or slow things down. In the game settings, there is an option to adjust speed at which the game time is running at. You can speed it up to 360 times normal rate, or slow it all the way down to 0.5 times the normal rate. This is especially useful when you are waiting for a storm to end or crops to grow, or you want the weather to stay sunny as long as possible, so keep that in mind. 14. Pallets will only sell if you unhook the straps holding it down. This is useful when you have many sell points and drive over them by accident, or if you want to unload only a certain pallet, for example if you want to sell honey but keep your eggs. 15. Mods. Now many guides and tutorials will tell new players to wait before using mods and try to get the hang of the game before, and while I do agree with that to a certain extent, I don't think new players should be that scared of mods. It just depends on which mods you install. Some mods can help make the game a lot more manageable and easier to learn. If you are interested in such mods, make sure to check out my last video on the most useful mods in FS25. 16. You can take a loan if you go to the main menu, choose the graph icon on the left and click on the Finances tab. Here you can take a loan, but keep in mind you will have to pay interest on that loan every day. 17. You should know what you are buying and don't buy something unless you are absolutely sure you know what it does and you need it on your farm. If you buy something, you are not able to sell it back for full price. A neat trick is to go to the produce tab and click on the produce you are trying to plant/harvest. There it will show you most of the tools you require. 18. Did you buy something you don't need or you just upgraded some equipment? When it's the time to sell, make sure you drive the equipment to the vehicle shop and sell it there instead of the menu. This will give you more money back for the vehicle. 19. The power washer is drivable. Now that you have played Farming Simulator a bit, your machines have become dirty, but fear not, there's a power washer in the game, as you might have discovered, but once you buy the power washer, it actually becomes a machine, allowing you to enter it and move it around. 20. Animals. In the beginning you wanna go for simpler animals to raise. My recommendation is bees, which require no work to upkeep, except emptying the pallet station. Chickens, which only require some type of grain. It can be any grain shown in the menu when buying the chicken coop. And then sheep/goats, which only require grass or hay. If you are a beginner, you want to stay away from cows and pigs for a bit, as they are a bit more difficult. 21. If the weather is bad, the NPCs will go inside their houses and you cannot talk to them until the sun is shining again. 22. Skip precision farming on your first save. Just get used to some of the processes required. Precision farming is a DLC that will add all sorts of stuff like soil compositions, nitrogen levels, soil sampling, and so on. 23. You can fast travel on the map by opening it, clicking on a plot of land or a facility and clicking visit. You can also enter your vehicles from this map view. 24. Cultivation is one of the most basic tasks in the game, so it's worth getting used to it early on. You will be doing this after every harvest to bring the field back into use, unless you plow instead. So, to speed up this process, you can look for seeders and planters in the store that can do it while they plant. This can be a bit pricier, but it will speed up your process a whole bunch. 25. If you are on a field and hold H, you can manage your GPS settings. This will help you stay on path when doing various field work. It can also be highly customized. Alright, now we are getting to some more complex stuff, so I expect you have gotten some hours in your first farm for the next tips. 26. Design your farm layout for productivity. The best way to increase productivity is to plan your farm layout well from the get-go. Start by preparing a clear plan with relevant structural formations, such as silos, barns, and animal pens, to take up space within close proximity to one another for easy access. This will give you much time and burn less fuel when getting the equipment around. Strategic location of storages. Put your storage buildings near the large fields and as close to your equipment as possible. Then avoid losing too much time transporting things. Expansion planning. Take note that as you expand, there must be enough area for new additions without necessarily reorganizing your whole farm. 27. Start small. When you jump into a fresh game of FS25, it is tempting to buy up big plots of land and all sorts of equipment. But land and equipment doesn't produce income on its own. So instead of doing that, I recommend you buy a smaller plot of land where you can build a small field, some basic necessary equipment, and all the money you have left over you should invest into productions that generate you easy, fast income. The best example of this are bees and greenhouses. They require minimal work while generating you easy income. You can also buy a small preserved food factory and start producing kimchi for about $50,000. Which will sustain your farm while you are waiting for your crops to grow. 28. Rice fields. Rice can only be grown on special fields deepened for water retention. If you don't find fields like that on the map by default, you will have to create them yourself on a flat seabed via the building menu. A water pump automatically appears at each rice field. Before you continue, you need to start the pump to flood the field with water. Every now and then, you will need to reactivate the pump to provide moisture to the soil. Thus, regularly check the pump, preferably daily or monthly. If the field needs more water, the game will let you know about it after interacting with the pump. Planting and harvesting rice requires a special machine, and before planting the rice you must grow the rice saplings in a greenhouse. 29. It is most profitable to build large hives. The largest one equals 33 small ones. It saves space and money. As the price per piece decreases, the numbers will show it the best. Small one costs 500 euros and the largest one costs 3000 euros. 30. Speaking of peas, you should be placing them near canola, sunflower or potato fields, as they give a bonus to the yield of these crops. 31. Pigs are theoretically easy to maintain. In practice, however, they require some work. You make money from the pigs by selling the adult animals. If you care about maximum performance, you need to provide them with the best possible food. Pigs are actually omnivores and their food is divided into 4 groups. Basic feed, so pig feed, corn, sorghum, 50% efficiency. Grains, aka wheat and barley, 25% efficiency. Proteins, that is soya, canola, sunflower, 20% efficiency. And root crops, so that's potatoes or sugar beets, 5% efficiency. A pig's diet must be diverse to achieve very high efficiency. You must guarantee several types of food for the pigs. If you care about maximum efficiency without having many crops, you can buy pig feed, available on pallets and in 1000-liter bags each, in the store. It provides 50% efficiency. However, you must be aware that this is a more expensive solution. 32. Stone picking and soil rolling are optional activities that you don't always have to deal with. Their aim is to remove stones from the field by collecting them or pressing them into the ground. Stones can appear in the field after plowing or cultivating it with a regular cultivator. While they do not affect your crops, they do damage your vehicles and machinery when you ride over them. Stone picking and soil rolling are therefore only required occasionally, but it is recommended to do it. A positive impact on your vehicles is not the only benefit here. 33. If you have the new Highlands fishing expansion, you can also now fish in FS25. You can fish in almost any body of water, such as a river, pond, lake or sea. The general rule, however, is that the shallower the body of water, the longer you will wait to catch something. 34. Herbicide sprayers remove large, medium and small weeds, making them a great choice for dealing with feeding. However, it is also the worst, most expensive and most problematic option. Sprayers are very expensive, you have to buy herbicide for them, and while spraying fields may kill weeds, it also has a negative impact on crops, although not as negative as leaving the weeds. 35. Some vehicles in the game allow you to create your own color for the machine. 36. Always back up your save before installing new mods onto it, and make sure you test the mods fully. Some won't seem broken, but if you actually place a building or something, it can break your save, and you will be pulling your hair out trying to get it to work again. 37. After filling the animal's food trough, leaving a trailer full of its food next to the feed trough will result in the trailer automatically unloading some of its supply into the trough as needed. this only works for simple foods like grains and not the TMR. However, it can be very useful as a backup plan when someone is frequently forgetting to feed their animals. 38. You don't buy anything you don't need right away. It could come on sale the very next month. I have done this loads. I buy a shiny brand new harvester only to see a bigger and better one on sale the next month for half the price. Wait until the last moment if you really have to buy something, or lease it instead. 39. Always fertilize, and where possible twice per crop cycle. Fertilizer remains the single most powerful base game boost to yields. Applying solid or liquid fertilizer once gives a nice yield bump, and doing it a second time during the growth cycle pushes your field much closer to the max output. 40. After harvest, instead of immediately sowing again or leaving the field bare, mulching leftover stubble before you cultivate or plow helps restore soil condition and gives a small but consistent yield bonus for the next planting. 41. When scaling up, consider field proximity, travel time and equipment workload before buying new field. Distant fields can kill efficiency. The last thing you wanna do is buy a flatbed trailer and unload your equipment every time you need to harvest or plant. 42. Weed control is important. As soon as weeds appear, early removal prevents yield loss. Let weeds get large and yields drop significantly. 43. Prioritize horsepower management. A slightly underpowered tractor wastes more time and fuel than the cost difference to a slightly stronger model. 44. Use front weights properly. They actually have a use. Imbalanced tractors waste time slipping and steering poorly. 45. You can unload harvesters on the move. Trailer matching speed saves minutes per pass on big fields. You can accomplish this using the onboard cruise control. 46. Don't buy empty/withered/harvested fields. If you want to buy an NPC-owned field, wait until they have planted something you can use, and buy it a month before it is supposed to be ready. That way you can get the most out of your purchase. 47. Don't work fields during rain, unless absolutely necessary. Traction is worse and the yield is also worse. 48. If you are using DLCs such as precision farming, keep in mind to alternate nutrient-heavy crops with lighter ones to keep the soil stable, and check the soil composition, pH value and the nitrogen levels every now and then to make sure your fields are in good order. 49. Fuel and leftover seed/fertilizer do not increase sell value. Empty it before selling so you don't waste materials you paid for. 50. A subtle physics detail. Cultivators and plows drag harder uphill. Working fields side to side instead of top to bottom saves fuel. 51. If an AI worker derails, take the field for 5 to 10 seconds, realign the machine, then restart the task. Their entire path recalculates cleaner. 52. Never let your production sites run empty. They take a monthly production fee. If they are empty, make sure to turn them off. If you enjoyed these 52 tips and tricks on how to improve your farming simulator game, make sure to click that notification button so you don't miss my next video on Farming Simulator 25.